Part 5. God's Thanks Must Come Out. Chapter 25. To give thanks is God's will. Rejoice always, pray constantly, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verses 16 through 18. Before you desire anything, give thanks. Before you plan anything, give thanks. The solution to all things is giving thanks. To give thanks is precisely God. The purpose of the era of love is thanks. If you want to live in an awesome way, give thanks. If you give thanks, your family will become one. See the changed life of the person who gives thanks. You will see how brilliant your life becomes by giving thanks. There will be people who live and eat because of the one thanks. Even if they are not educated, even if they are not competent, there will be those who have all things by giving thanks. There is an amount of thanks onto each individual for his or her future. Indeed, the amount of thanks for each individual has been determined. They obviously cannot all be the same. The day you fill up with that thanks, you will gain boundless power. I am a God who looks at your center. You must not fall for satisfaction that is momentary. What are you afraid of? What are you worried about? Is your life destitute? Are you dried up with no money? There is only thanks. Look back to see if you have thanks in your spirit. You will see that thanks will turn the world upside down. Boundless confidence comes from thanks. If you do not want to be held down by anyone, give thanks. If you give thanks, you can overcome all things. However, if I do not give it to you, thanks can be blocked. Even if you put in your efforts, if I stop it, it can become blocked. Have you experienced falling into hell at such a time? Have you ever experienced the pain where you could no longer give thanks? Do you genuinely feel the power of giving thanks? Thanks that has been lost must be filled up again by thanks. When I'm pouring it on, fill up with thanks. Each individual has his or her amount. Each individual has his or her time. Do not follow other people. There are those whose end is now, and there are those whose beginning is now. There are those whose thanks is blocked. You will see, others may not know, but the self knows when thanks is blocked. You will feel how great is the pain of a world without thanks. It is difficult to move even one finger. What plans do you have such that you do not have thanks? Then you cannot move forward. Without thanks, you cannot work. You will see the person who has the fullness of thanks, and you will see the person whose thanks has fallen away. Do you know the pain of wanting to die? Do you know the pain of wanting to die but not being able to die? Do you know the pain of wanting to live but not being able to live? It is the end for the person whose thanks has fallen away. It is difficult to gain thanks, but if it has become lost, it is also difficult to recover it. Know how great of a blessing it is that you are now giving thanks. You, who are filled and overflowing with thanks, are someone who is genuinely giving thanks. Water and oil do not mix. The person who does not have thanks will be weeded out. Are you afraid of failure? Do you have no knowledge or any money? Give thanks. Things surely open for the person who gives thanks. It is the law that for a place that opens for someone, there is also a place that closes for someone. We will see this together. Is there someone who wanders? Is there someone who is inattentive? Give thanks. You do not know when your time will approach. If you lose thanks, it is the end. Put your hand over your heart and check if you have thanks. Now, the person who has thanks lives. You who have no thanks, are you afraid? Are you not dismayed by your situation right now? You who have no thanks, are you in pain? Are you curious about my whipping? You who have no thanks, have you never felt my danger? Do you think you can even touch the heel of the person who has thanks? You who have no thanks, give thanks. Do you boast that you have thanks? Be humble. If you don't want to cry in hell, give thanks. Thanks is restored by only the living word. You who have no thanks, give thanks. Those of you who do have thanks, don't be self-content. The only one condition in thanks is the word. Those of you who are armed with prayer and the word, give thanks. It is the law that a role model is always to show. The person who does not give thanks will be miserable from inside the crevice of thanks. If you want to live, give thanks. Are you trying to gain thanks through something other than the word? It is not thanks if it is through something else. That is merely momentary satisfaction. Do not use the term thanks just anywhere. Thanks is my vocabulary word. It is my vocabulary word that I made. Thanks is not something you get for free. You must give thanks to live. I love only those who give thanks. When a person delivers the word to someone whose thanks has decreased, let only the person who has the fullness of thanks be the person who delivers. Right now, you have a mission. Show the power of thanks. I am a shepherd that wants to keep his sheep. I do not want to lose my sheep. How great is the mission to find lost sheep. Until the family that does not believe comes together before me, fulfill the duties of your mission. You must save starting from your family. Do well at fulfilling the duties of your mission. If you succeed, you will become one level riper. You will be acknowledged. I believe in the power of the person who has thanks. I never told you to turn your back against the world. The world is your place of work. At its center, I must be there. Such was the purpose for calling you from the world. But what is at the center? Do you have the thanks of only words? You can shout and cry all you want and say that it is not so. I am a God who inspects the spirit. You do not know how frightening is the life that has no thanks. No matter what you try to do, you cannot do it. If you die, it is a relief, but even if you want to die, death avoids you. It is difficult to gain thanks, and when thanks does not come out, it is even more difficult to reveal myself. The difference between heaven and hell is a matter of one page. However, that difference is too large. You cannot dare to follow and come. Those who have tasted my thanks cannot live without thanks. Can you not realize that thanks is bigger than any human being or money? Can you not know that the power to overcome all things is thanks? You will see with certainty the difference between the person who has thanks and the person who does not. Is there nothing that has been fulfilled? Is there nothing that appears before your eyes? Is there nothing that has changed? Is your life still the same? Is it the same life every day? Why can you not find your thanks? See if you have thanks in your heart. Thanks is lacking. Have you come to church, but nothing has changed? Did you give thanks before, but now have no thanks? Where did you leave it? Do you get frustrated and angry? Do you give thanks according to your mood? Where is the thanks that I gave you? Who is at that center? What is taking up that space? Thanks is the one thing I want. Those who have experienced thanks cannot live without thanks. It can be blessing and unhappiness at the same time. I do not expect anything else from you. The beginning is only thanks, and the purpose is only thanks. I have never demanded anything great from you, but only thanks in your heart. Thanks through the word is above everything else. Thanks is new every day. Give thanks. Do you want money? Do you want peace in your life? If you give thanks, I will give them to you. Cultivate your life to make thanks your foundation. Do you desire miracles? Give thanks. Those of you who dream of miracles, dream of thanks. Thanks is the miracle. Do you know why believers receive criticism? Without thanks, only their lips have lived. They do not have thanks, which I gave them, and they are king. I am being trampled on the ground. This is because of the acts of those who have no thanks. Those of you who have thanks, raise me up again. Those of you who genuinely give thanks, reveal my glory. Live your every breathing moment while giving thanks. Make it so that thanks does not fall. Do not forget that my purpose is the work of filling you up with thanks. Now, you cannot go back to the time when you could not know thanks. After you have tasted me, you absolutely cannot go back. There is absolutely no way you will escape from my hand.